All right, hey everyone, my name is Amanda, and welcome to my daily art journal flip through. This is my daily art journal that I used for like 4 months. It's filled with my heart and soul, and I'm very excited to share it with you all today. Yeah, let's get right into it because I know that's what we're here for. This is a dingbats journal. It was gifted to me, but it's something that I would definitely pay for because the quality of these journals are so it's really impressed me with how well they work. They hold mixed media really well, and yeah, I'll definitely use them more in the future because they haven't let me down yet, and I'm really impressed by them. So I highly recommend a dingbats. This is the Pro collection, from the Pro collection. It costs, I believe, around 35 Canadian, so it's a bit of a investment, but I think it's worth it for really the quality of the paper and how it holds mixed media. So here's the first page. This was originally the stickers I had on the cover, but I decided like halfway through it that I didn't want all of those stickers on here. They were peeling. It was just not, I wasn't vibing with it anymore. So I decided to take them off and put these stickers on instead. Yeah, because sometimes if you don't like your journal, you can always change things up. You're not locked in with anything. This here is from a show that I participated in, and I just wanted to keep it there for memory's sake. This here is just like the first page of a journal, what you do in it, kind of like an introduction page. I'm always sharing this journal, so it's like things where I think about how in the future someone could be looking back on this journal and be like, who is Amanda? Well, now you know who Amanda is. With this journal, I'll just say like sometimes my emotions, I take it out of my head and I put them into journaling, and I share my work, and I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with being vulnerable and like my feelings and stuff, but I'm good, I'm chilling. I put my emotions out and I put it into journaling. So sometimes you might read this and you're like, damn, like she's going through it. But that's how I like work through my stuff in my life, is I put it into art and I put it into journaling. And yeah, like the whole purpose of this journal was to have an art practice every day. So if there was one thing that I did every day, if this was the only art that I did every day, that was okay. Like the whole point was to make something, whether I liked it or not. And majority of these pages I don't like. The majority of these pages I'm like, what am I doing? But the whole point was to just make sure I did something. A lot of these pages also stem from working on other projects. So I might be working on my mini journal or doing some bigger canvases, and I'll have like extra paint. And so that will go into this journal. I'm very much like, I hate wasting things. I hate wasting supplies. So if I have extra stuff, I'm putting it in this journal. It's kind of like the last defense. Like before it goes into the trash, it'll go into this journal. And I find this journal also to be one to start ideas. So if I have kind of an idea, it'll go in here first, and then I'll work from there into bigger projects or into my other journals. And I think lately I've just been really into these kind of big, elaborate spreads where it doesn't look like a lot, but if you look deeper into it, there's more to it. And I think that's like, I kind of like that with my art. It's more like if you give it a chance, you will get something from it. Like don't overlook things too quickly. There's more to it than it may seem. This here, I was trying to do fingerprint paw prints of my dogs. This was like the first try, and my dog literally took a snack out of it, like started eating it. But the final result, the one that actually worked out, is hanging in my room. But I just kept this first attempt and I stuck it in here. And it's like, it's little things like this where you might think like, why does she have this in her journal? But it means so much to me. So there's so many things in your life where you're like, you might think like this is not worth it to be in a journal, but it is worth it. So never underestimate the power of memories and like how things can really impact you in the future. Because I know like one day I'll be looking back at this and I'll be like in tears. I'll be like destroyed. I got super into dots in like November, December, super into it. And this was kind of like one of the first pages I did where I was like layering and layering and layering and layering and layering. This took so long though. This took like definitely like the whole day, but kind of like it was a hyperfixation that I really got into dots. I use it a lot in my art. You can see it still, but yeah, the dots origin page. This is kind of these were the first attempts of the guys that didn't make the cut for Sticky Show. I did some stuff for Sticky Show. I'm not sure when that is, but yeah, these are the guys that didn't make the cut, so they instead got put in the journal. And I know some people ask me, like, when I use oil pastels, does it smear to the page? Yes, it does. But to be fair, this was like an extreme oil pastel page. Like, I used it a lot. But yeah, like, it does smear. It's not a huge deal for me. If this is something that would bother you, just stick some paper in between as the barrier. But yeah, like, I don't think any journal will be invincible for this type of thing. Like, it's oil pastel, that's the medium, it's going to smear. So if that bothers you, either just don't use oil pastel or stick some paper in between. There's also like fixatives you can spray on top and things like that. But for me, it doesn't really bother me that much. And if it does, then I do preventative things to stop it. This is just a bunch of watercolors and gouache. And I had taped it. I think I almost taped some individually, but this one took a while to do. But I really like how things dried. Like, nothing dried the same. Everything dried differently. This is from my reflection series on Instagram. If you're here from Instagram, hello. But yeah, this was from like kind of just wrapping up the year, so I did a couple pages of that. Fish. I think some people have been asking me like why I use fish a lot in my work, and the answer to that is I don't really know. Like, I don't. I really like the concept of fish, and like painting them and drawing them is really cool to me. Also, my grandpa was like really into fishing, so maybe that like got connected to me somehow. But I don't know. Sometimes we just like things for the sake of liking it. There's not really a deep meaning to it. But yeah, I do paint fish a lot in my work. Fish, stars, people. But I think I do it because that's like I can do it. Like, if I could paint like a really complex elephant, I would do it more in my work. It's just that I don't have that ability yet. This here, I'm using some crackle paste, which I wouldn't really recommend using paste in your journals just because they will stick if you use them a lot. But I just had some extra from another piece, so I decided to use it in this. So just adding that little bit of extra texture, really, I love that. I love texture. This page, like, I have no clue what's going on here, but like, some pages are not going to be great, but by doing pages like this, you will end up with pages that you really love. Like, I really like this page here. It's nothing too crazy. It's just kind of, I made a goal setting page for the new year, and I didn't want to do like a basic page of just writing down my goals. I wanted to do more to it, so I made this little guy, and it's kind of just like showing like, in order to grow, you have to make goals. You have to like work on yourself. You get like this thing here. And I notice a lot about like the stuff that I make. It's kind of like I'm writing to myself. I find like in my art practice, in my art life, of course I'm making for an audience, but first I'm making art for me. Like, I'm always writing to myself. I'm making art for myself. I'm very like selfish with it, because in everything else in my life, trust me, I'm like a people pleaser. But when it comes to my art, I'm like putting myself first. I'm thinking about like what I would like, what I want to see, what I want to make. And then if the audience connects with that, that's great, because I'm being like my authentic self, and that's what I want. I always want to invite the audience to just think deeper into it. Sometimes I'm not being that deep, but other times, sometimes I really am. And it's really nice to see people form connections with my art, whether it's like my intention or it's like their own intentions. And it just like makes me feel so like happy that people are able to connect with my art in any way at all. This guy here is made by like taping. So I taped a first layer, then I painted on it. So like the pink layer was first. Then I took the tape off after it all dried, and then I put new tape on, and then I did the next layer. So you got like two different things, kind of. I don't know, I think it just looks really cool. Like more stars, more people. I love using it in my art, and I definitely want to go deeper into it. I want to learn how to like figure draw a bit better, because I don't know how many more stick people I have in me, because there's more, like there's just so much more to unlock, and I really want to work on that. I did really write this with my foot. I am not lying. This was written with my foot. This here, I used glow-in-the-dark paint. The green is glow-in-the-dark paint from Walmart, and I have beef with this because it did not work. Like, if you have purchased glow-in-the-dark paint from Walmart, please tell me if it's worked for you, because it has not worked for me on any of the projects I've tried it with. So I am disappointed. This here is an extension of, so we're in January here, and this is an extension of the art journal every day with me for January series I did on Instagram. So sometimes I would do a page and I would have extra, so I would put it here. So you might see like some repeats of the mini journal in here. Like this one here is a page in the mini journal, but it was really fun. Like this was made with a fork, and you just scrape, and it felt very like meditative, and also feeling it here, like the texture of it, feels great. This is the last page. I've lately been doing this thing on my last page where I write. I literally got this off of Pinterest, okay? So full credit goes to the explore page on Pinterest, because that's where I found it. But it's basically you just write like everything that you're currently doing, so that it kind of like solidifies that moment of your life. Like this is what I was doing in 2024, 2025. Just wrote down a bunch of things about how I feel, what I'm watching, listening, doing, blah, blah, blah. And then I also wrote to myself on the last few pages, but I don't share that because that one's for me. But yeah, there we go. This journal is really nice because it has a pocket too. If you care about that, this dingbats journal's got a pocket. But that is it. That is all I have for this journal. I hope it inspires you to go out and make stuff to create every day, because one page might not seem like a lot, but it really adds up and you end up with a beautiful journal like this. So go get yourself a journal, go make art, go create. You can do it. Yeah, hopefully this was inspiring. Hopefully you had a good time. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.